Poor Joe. It's too bad, but it can't be helped. So you must try to be content with making your name boyish and playing brother to us girls.
As for you, Amy, you are altogether too particular and prim. Now, your airs are funny now, but you will turn up an affected goose if you don't take care. It is good to cultivate manners and a refined way of speaking, but your absurd words are quite as bad as Joe's slang.
If Joe is a tomboy and Amy a goose, what am I?
You are a dear and nothing else. Oh, 6 o'clock? Mother will be here at any minute and nothing ready for her. Dear, what a self-pitying, vicary lot we are. Come along, let's get things to rights and have everything ready for her when she comes in.
These slippers of Marmie's are quite worn out. She needs a new pair badly.
I think I'll get her some for Christmas with my dollar.
No, I will.
I'm the eldest, so I shall be the one to get
I am the man of the family. He told me to take extra special care of Marmie while he was gone. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll each get her something for Christmas and not get anything for ourselves. We don't deserve anything sitting around grumbling. Well, Marmie's been down at the Soldiers' Aid Society working hard all day.
Oh, Beth is quite right. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. I think I shall give Mother some new gloves. She only has 2 pairs and are both very darned.
And I shall give her a nice bottle of cologne.
I did see some pretty handkerchiefs in town. She'd make a lovely present. And I shall get the best slippers to be had.
Hurrah, Joe!
Heaven's sakes, what's going on in here? You girls are making a railroad noise and no mistake.
And we're planning Christmas surprises for Marmie.
Well, I reckon she'll need some peace and quiet when she gets home. She's been helping pack Christmas boxes for the soldiers all day. Couldn't even make it home for dinner. And as if that weren't enough, she said she has a mind to call on that poor, humble family on her way home. They must be in need again. Your ma will help them. There never was such a woman who'd given away victuals and clothes and things, no matter how little she has for herself.
Poor Mrs. Hummel. Her husband's just died, and she has 6 children and a new baby to look after.
Well, they've a guardian angel in your mama. She won't be long now. As soon as I hear her come in, I shall make the tea. You make sure she gets a good strong cupful of it when it's nice and hot. She'll be tired and it's mortal cold out. Oh, I forgot this. It came by hand this afternoon. It's for you, Miss Mill.
Oh, whoever could it be from?
Well, if you really want to find out, I reckon the easiest way is to open it.
Oh, what fun! It's a note of invitation from Mrs. Gardner. Listen to this. Mrs. Gardner would be happy to see Miss March and Miss Josephine at a little party on New Year's Eve. Oh, how grand! Do you think Marmie will let us go?
I don't see why not. Your young lady is mad. Well, I best get back to my kitchen. Now, don't let that fancy invite make you forget your ma's toast.
Oh, Joe, isn't this wonderful? It's ages since we've been to a party. Now, what shall we wear?
What's the use of asking that when you know we shall wear our poplins because we haven't anything else?
Oh, bother the Gardners and their wretched party. We must decide what to do about Marmie's presents, and she'll be here at any moment.
We must let her think we are getting things for ourselves, and then we can surprise her.
And we have to go shopping tomorrow afternoon, for there won't be any other time. And we still need to rehearse our play for Christmas night.
Yes, and it has to be extra specially good this year. Marmie always loves our Christmas plays, and with Father away, she needs cheering up now more than ever.
I don't think I shall act in any more after this one. I'm getting too old for such things.
Oh, fiddlesticks, Meg. You'll keep going as long as you can trail around in a long white gown with your hair down and wear gold paper jewelry. Besides, you're the best actress we've got, and it'll be the end of everything if you quit the boards. We can rehearse a bit now. Come on, Amy, let's do the fainting scene. You're stiff as a poker in that.
I can't help it. I've never seen anyone faint in the whole of my entire life, and I don't choose to make myself go all black and blue and tumbling flat as you
and stagger across the stage, crying, Rodrigo! Rodrigo, save me! Save me!
Rodrigo! Rodrigo! Save me! How?
It's no use. I'll do the best you can when the time comes, and if the audience laugh, don't blame me.
I don't see how you can write back such splendid things, Joe. You're a regular Shakespeare.
Not quite. But I do think that my efforts this year, The Witch's Curse, an operatic tragedy, is my best yet. Though what I should really like to try is Macbeth. If only we had a trapdoor for Banquo. I've always wanted to do the killing scene. Is that the dagger I see before me?
No, it's a toasting fork.
Joe, watch the time. Joe, calm down. Joe.
I'm glad to find you so merry.
Marty! Marty's home. Oh! Hannah! Marty's home! Time for the tea!
You were beginning to wonder what had happened to you. Oh, come and sit down, Mark. Oh, you must be tired.
Thank you, my girls. How have you got on today? Is your cold better, Meg?
Much better, Marty.
Joe, you look tired out.
Well, the hurt looks exhausting.
Is anyone called today, Meg?
No, Marmy.
How was school today, Amy?
Dreadful.
Oh, it was such a busy day today. There was so much to do getting the Christmas boxes ready to go tomorrow.
Hannah said you were calling on poor Mrs. Hummel on your way home.
Yes, I took them firewood and a basket of food. They're in a desperate plight.
How's the new baby, Marmy?
Very thin and undernourished like all the children. They have no fire, and they were all huddled together in one bed to keep warm.
Oh, Mother, how dreadful.
That's not all. Mrs. Hummel has been so poorly since the new baby came that she's been unable to work, and until I got there today, they have literally nothing to eat. My girls, I wonder, shall we give them some of the good things that we have put by for our Christmas, so that theirs may be a little happier?
yes, Marmy, of
Let's see what we
course.
can do.
I thought that you would want to help. We shall all go around tomorrow together and deliver our gifts. Bless you. And now, as a reward for your goodness of hearts, what do you suppose a soldier home on leave brought me today?
A letter! A letter from Father!
Oh, Mother, really?
What does he say, Marmy? Please tell us.
How is he? Is he well?
Yes, a letter, a nice long letter. He is well, and he sends all sorts of loving Christmas wishes and a special message for you girls. Yes, here it is. He says, give them all my dear love and a kiss. Tell them I think of them by day, pray for them by night, and find my best comfort in their affection at all times. A year seems very long to wait before I see them, but remind them that while we wait, we may all work, so that these hard days need not be wasted. I know they will remember all I said to them, that they will be loving children to you, will do their duty faithfully, and conduct themselves so beautifully that when I come back to them, I may be fonder and prouder than ever of my little women.
Oh, the dear good man.
Poor Hannah. She's been with us for so long now, she misses your father as much as the rest of us.
Oh, Mother, we've forgotten all about your tea.
Hannah says you're to have your tea good and hot.
I think it was splendid of Father to go as a chaplain when he was too old to be drafted and not strong enough to be a soldier.
I wish I could go as a drummer. Or a nurse. So I could be near him and help him.
It must be very disagreeable to sleep in a tent and eat all sorts of bad tasting things and drink out of a tin mug.
When will he be home, Marmy?
Not for many months, I'm afraid, dear. He will stay and do his work faithfully as long as he can. And we won't ask for him back a minute sooner than he can be spared. Joe, dear, draw the curtains and let us make ourselves cozy for the evening. There's some sewing to do, and perhaps it will read aloud to us as we work.
Oh, look! The lamps are lit in the drawing room of the big house next door. I can see right in!
Oh, Joe, you shouldn't do that. It's like eavesdropping.
There's old Mr. Lawrence in a great chair. And the Lawrence boy, Do come see, Beth. It'll make you quite grieve.
Certainly not. Joe dear, close the curtains at once and come away from the window. What would Mr. Lawrence and his grandson think if they saw you peering over at them?
But, Marmee, it isn't as if they are complete strangers to us. I remember you told us once that old Mr. Lawrence knew your father years ago. And I've spoken to the Lawrence boys.
Without a formal introduction?
Oh, don't be so stuffy, Amy. It was when one of Beth's kittens ran into their garden and he brought it back.
He seems very nice, and he looks as if he'd like to know us, but he's bashful.
I think he's a capital fellow, and I intend to get to know him. Where he needs friends, I'm sure he does.
I have no objection to your knowing him if a proper opportunity occurs. But Mr. Lawrence keeps very much to himself, and I wouldn't wish to presume on a very slight acquaintance.
Why does he do that, Mother?
I believe that he has had some very great tragedy in his family, which has made him disinclined to mix with other people, and that, of course, makes it difficult for his grandson to get to know anyone.
He keeps the boy shut up. When he isn't out riding or walking with his tutor, it makes him study very hard.
The Moffats told me they invited him to their party, but he didn't go.
Well, I think it's jolly hard luck.
Now
and-
that will do, Joe. It is not for us to criticize and know better. Please draw the curtains and come to the fire.
Oh, they've gone now. Love this. It is! It's on March!
On March!
Oh, Marmee, on March's carriage is drawing up outside.
Whatever did she want? I don't think she's come to call on us in 10 years. Joe, did she say anything to you about calling this evening?
No, Marmee, I can't understand it.
Well, she's here now. Quick, girls, let's make the room tidy. Meg, dear, take the tray back into the kitchen and ask Hannah to make some fresh tea. Beth, Amy, I think you had better wait upstairs until I send for you. Joe, you stay here in case Aunt March wishes to speak to you. Oh, there she is. You let her in, dear. Hannah is busy, and besides, I think that Aunt March rather terrifies her.
Well, niece, aren't you going to ask me to sit down?
Good evening, Aunt March. Do come in and sit down. Make yourself at home. May I take your cloak?
No, thank you. I don't intend to stay that long. Just thought I'd come and see how you and the girls were. Can never get any information out of Josephine here.
We are all well, I am glad to say. Meg has had a slight cold.
Cold? Wouldn't surprise me if she had. The way young people go on these days, it's a wonder they don't all die of pneumonia.
Are you keeping well, Aunt March?
Me? Well, I am never well. My old trouble here gives me constant pain, and of course I get so little sleep.
Oh, but Joe tells me that you always sleep soundly for a good hour.
Nonsense. I'm only resting my eyes from the light while she reads to me. I have never really slept for over 30 years. Just lose myself a little, that's all.
But you never find yourself again very soon, do you, Aunt?
Don't be impertinent, Joe. It must be very trying for you, Aunt March.
How's that husband of yours? My nephew.
He is well, thank you. And he seems to find rigors of camp life not too difficult to bear.
Beyond me what he wanted to go gallivanting off to war for at all at his age. Why couldn't he stay home and be a chaplain?
He did what he knew to be the right thing. And though I miss him dearly, I would not have it otherwise. He is needed by the men and feels he is doing good work among them.
That's questionable. Can't always say his judgment is unerring. I mean, look how he lost all his money to that good-for-nothing friend of his a few years ago. I said to him, I told him at the time.
Aunt March, whatever my husband did, he did as a Christian gentleman to help a dear friend in misfortune. That everything was lost in the transaction is no reflection on either of them. I am sorry, but I cannot sit here in his own home and hear you speak ill of him.
Highty-tighty then, highty-tighty. Didn't I do what I could to help? Didn't I offer to adopt one of the girls and bring her up?
We told you then that we couldn't give up one of our girls, not for a fortune. Rich or poor, we'll keep together and be happy in one another.
Mighty independent, I must say. Well, you know your own business best, I suppose. Still, seems a pity you didn't take up my offer.
Well, we are, of course, most grateful to you for having Joe as a helping companion.
No, wouldn't have her if it didn't suit me. I took a fancy to her, and I am always right in these matters. Joe does well enough, but I think sometimes she takes far more interest in her late Uncle March's library than attending to my wants.
Oh, but Aunt March,
That is enough, miss. You know as well as I do that you spend every spare minute you can find in among those books.
I am afraid that Jo does have a great weakness for reading, but she should not neglect her duties to indulge her pleasures.
Oh, her duties. Oh, they are light enough in all conscience. Wind yawn, wash the poodle, feed Polly, my sweet parrot, fetch and carry, and read aloud Belcham's essays, of which I at least never tire.
And I do understand that, Aunt March, that you've come here this evening to complain of Jo's behavior.
Complain. Complain? And what would give you the idea I would ever complain about anything?
Then may I ask the reason for your visit?
Reason? Mercy on us, that should be plain enough, I should think. Why should an invalid like myself, racked with pain, turn out on a cold winter's night like tonight? For no reason other than to wish you a happy Christmas, of course.
Oh.
What else?
Thank you.
And with that nephew of mine away playing at soldier, I have no doubt things will not be so plentiful at home this year. Josephine, run out to the carriage girl and fetch the parcels from the coachman. Nothing much, you understand, just a small gift for each girl. Oh, a trifle of lace, a little brooch, some ribbons, and so on. Oh yes, and there is a basket with a ham and butter and cake and things. Good, wholesome food. I do not think rich food is good for young people. At any rate, it will keep you all from starving. Oh, put them down, girl, before you drop them. Now I must go. I have a great many things requiring my attention, and I have not the time to stay here listening to your gossip. And remember, none of the parcels may be opened until Christmas morning.
Marmy! Oh, Jo dear, I don't know what to say. And to think that after we refused to let her adopt one of you, she wouldn't speak to us for a whole year.
after Christmas, I'll be extra good, I promise, and do all she asks with a smile, even to reading the boring, brilliant essays of Mr. Belsham.
You run along upstairs, dear, and tell the others that the ordeal is over. I shall pack these good things away for Christmas morning.
Oh, Marmy, may we have some time to rehearse our play upstairs, please? There's still a lot to do for it.
Oh, yes, dear. I have several things to do down here, and I shall call you when I am finished. Jo, dear, try not to make too much noise.
All right, Marmy.
I'll get it, Hannah. Will you take these things? They are Christmas presents from Aunt March.
Christmas presents from your Aunt March? Land sakes, that'll make the angels sing.
Please, Mr. Lawrence, how kind of you calling us.
Thank you, Mrs. March. I'm really here on behalf of my grandfather. He asked me to present his compliments and his apologies.
His apologies.
Yes, you see, he told me to say that he feels very remiss in not calling to pay his respects to you, the daughter of his old friend, and he hopes that you will forgive the tardiness of an old man who ventures but rarely into society.
How very kind of him. Do sit down.
And he hopes that you will do him the honor of accepting these 2 bottles of Madeira with the compliments of the season.
Thank you. Dear me, you did have to learn a long speech, didn't you?
Yes, it was. I was afraid I should forget half of it. And these flowers are for me. I picked them myself in the conservatory.
Oh, how very sweet of you. Oh, they are lovely. Thank your grandfather for me most warmly. Perhaps the 2 of you would like to come one day and take tea with us and meet my family.
I should like that very much indeed, Mrs. March.
I believe you have met my daughter Jo already.
Yes, when the kitten ran into our garden. She is full of life, isn't she? She told me she wishes to be an authoress.
Ah, yes, Jo is very lively, and she is always busy scribbling away at something in a little study she's made for herself in the attic.
Meg is the pretty one, isn't she? And Beth, the rosy one who stays at home a good deal, and the curly-haired one who sketches and paints is Amy, I believe.
For someone who has never really met my girls, you seem to know an awful lot about them. Pray, how did you discover all that?
Why, you see, I often hear them call to one another from the house, and when I'm home alone, I can't help looking over at your house. You always seem to be having such splendid times. Sometimes you don't draw the curtains, and when the lamps are lighted, it's like a picture. To look in and to see you all seated at the table or engaged in some household task. I'm afraid I can't help watching.
Do you live alone with your grandfather?
Yes. My parents are both dead. Grandpa only lives among his books and doesn't care much for what happens outside. Mr. Brooke, my tutor, only calls during the day, so I'm rather much alone at times. I'm afraid that's why I've taken to watching all your comings and goings.
Well, when you do know my girls, there'll be no more need for watching anymore, for you must come over and visit us whenever you are lonely and join in our simple amusements. I know the girls will make you very welcome.
Thank you, Mrs. March. It's good of you to receive me so kindly. I'll pass your message on to Grandfather, and I hope that he will...
Rodrigo, save me!
You must excuse the noise. Joe is rehearsing the others in a family play for Christmas, and I am afraid things are inclined to get a little out of hand at times. That is why I cannot introduce you to them now. I have no idea what state of opera they're in.
Alas! Alas for Zorro!
Yes, I can see what you mean.
Hannah, will you show Mr. Lawrence to the door? Thank you so much for the lovely flowers, and we look forward to visiting us again very soon.
Thank you very much, Mrs. March. Thank you, Hannah. Oh, and I shall look forward to coming.
What a nice young gentleman. But if all I hear is true, left on his own side too much.
Yes, and I know he can't have very much fun in that big house all by himself. He needs lively company.
What ho, minion? I have need of thee. Come, Zorro, we must away!
Seems to me he has quite a lot of lively company right on his doorstep.
And I have a feeling that we will be seeing much more of that young man in the near future.